That's what it all boils down to. Those 5 DHV spikes we keep talking about, those are, well, DHV, demonstrations of higher SNR value, survival and replication value. A girl has this overwhelming desire to align with the man who has value, right? But also an overwhelming desire to protect her already existing value from being taken. That's why she dresses up, dolls up, goes out, but goes to a loud club, hangs out with her friends, gets protected by them. So she has a balance, an equilibrium, a dynamic homeostasis between aligning with others and running away. In the same way that even our attraction mechanism is calibrated towards that. We see a girl, we have an overwhelming desire to align with her. And the minute that I bump you and say, go for it, is an overwhelming desire to protect that which you already have, right? Now, I'm going to zoom a little bit further into this fear of the approach, because it's not just about fear of losing your pre-selection. But that is a huge thing, right? If you're not pre-selected, the woman's not going to find you attractive. In a small town, you're not having sex anymore. That's a reason to fear it. Here's another one. What if she's taken? The man who feels like he owns her and is in possession of her will defend his right to keep her. He will work to save his investment. If you have a girlfriend and some guy steps up, starts hitting on her, you're like, hey, buddy, right? You're going to step up. Over 1 million human beings are in jail right now because of the hardwired circuit to kill another human. This is Vegas. Everyone's going to be happy. You can act drunk. There's plausible deniability in that. Oh, hey, buddy, you know what? I'd love to fight, but I'm sick to my stomach, and it wouldn't be right. It would be so unfair of you. That's all you have to do. Hey, buddy, I love you, man. Serious. It's this weird feeling of love. Now, I took X, but I love you. See? You can get out, no matter what. You can be the smart person. You can say anything in field. But yes, you can be seriously hurt. So imagine if we can, when we go into a set, and there will be guys there, we don't know what the relationships are yet. What if we were to disqualify ourselves first from being considered a potential suitor? Not only would it trigger the pre-selection attraction switch in a woman, because we're not hitting on her, right? But it'll also disarm all the obstacles, all the friends, from thinking we're after her like the last guy or the next guy, so that we can buy ourselves a minute or two more to add in or upload some DHV spikes into her brain. We don't have to talk to her directly to do that. We can talk to her friends. All I have to do is take my hat off, put it on her head for a sec, and say, "Here, I'll show you something cool in a moment." Lock her in. She's going to have to hand that hat back before she leaves. So I've locked her into her very own set. Now I can tell stories to the friends with DHV spikes built into those stories, right? That's fun. That's very social. Where I'm opening up several threads, because I only want to touch upon the logic of the theory, and then we'll zoom into it, into what the actual phases are. Then I will fill in each of these phases with gambits that you can use in field to accomplish the objective of that phase, which will get you to the very next phase. You can't skip phases, you can't go backwards. It's a timeline of 9 linear phases. 3 main stages. There's a beginning, middle, ending. The beginning pickup has 3 main phases: a beginning, middle, and ending to the pickup stage. 3 phases in mid-game: a beginning, middle, and ending. And 3 phases: a beginning, middle, and ending to seduction. And then you start a relationship. If I can give you the gambits that fill in the structure, all you'd have to do is get good at these game pieces. Ultimately, over the next 3 days, you're going to get good at about 10% of what you're going to ultimately need, for 7 hours, for all the different types of women that you're going to bump into. But with a good 30 routines, you're really going to get good at a good 25 minutes of pickup. The minimum necessary to get a phone number that's going to stick so you can get a day 2, and she's going to be into you. What I mean by into you is you're at least going to have arm in arm. You're at least going to have hugs, right? Where she accepts them, not one of those, get off me. No, but you can hold her from behind and go, oh, you're gorgeous. Okay, get off me. And then she'll come back. Or when you're sitting down, to have a girl sitting on your lap. That's a girl who's interested and comfortable enough to perhaps see you again, hang out with you with comfort. That's what we're going after here. With consistency, so that we can be the tribal leader with all the women and the options. And the option to say no. There's power in having that option to say no. You say no to a girl, and another girl sees that. She knows that you could say yes. Right? You must have value for that girl if you could say yes. And that value must be translatable to any other girl. Okay, the 4 levels of game. Let's get into here. First, there's cryo. You ever hear of that? Cryogenic game. It's not cold approach pickup, which is what we're all here for, and we're all here to ultimately master cold approach pickup. You know, you're either a pickup artist or you're not. If you're not, at least you're not playing the game and getting yourself hurt. If you're a pickup artist, you have to be good. It's like being either no belt or black belt. If you're any belt in between, you'll just know enough martial arts to get seriously hurt. Right? It's the same thing here. Either you're an AFC, average frustrated chump, or a PUA, pickup artist. There's no in between. Right? Pickup artist in training is still a pickup artist because you're going out consistently. Right? The cold approach pickup happens, or why we call it that, is because the whole room that we enter into is cold. Not just the one girl. Cryogenic pickup is freezing cold. It's you versus the girl. Girl standing in front of a magazine rack all by herself, and you walk up. That is cryogenic. You don't have social proof. You don't have pivots, or the pivots are females that are friends of yours that are on your arms for pre-selection demonstrations. You don't have wings. She doesn't have any friends. You can't demonstrate your personality obliquely to her by having a dialogue with her friends. It's cryogenic. It's freezing cold. She's never heard of you before, seen you. It's really tough to play that game. That is not where we start this game. It's what we call bonus rounds. You know, if you bump into a girl in the daytime, right? That's always fun, right? But personally, I'd rather get the girl that is in the magazine rather than the girl who's in front of the magazine rack reading the magazine, right? Women are very rarely alone. That's why we do cold approach pickup. And it's great training for cryo. But do not start in cryo. Single approaching sucks. You can go in direct, you can go in, meaning you can convey your interest by saying, wow, you are absolutely beautiful. I wanted to find out if there's more to you than meets the eye. Is there? She can't help but, you know, feel the awkwardness of that, oh, I'm being hit on, but you can recover from that because she can't be a bitch to you, which is just a protection mechanism, just so you know. Hot girls are not bitches. They're just bitches to you. That's it, for 10 minutes. Or you could shut down her bitch shield, her strategy to get rid of the bras bord when you disqualify yourself from being considered a potential suitor, and then move forward to DHV spikes. And then as you're rolling off, you know, you're giving subtle calibrated roll-offs so that she feels the overwhelming desire to chase you, and then it's on. It's brilliant. So, cryo game. Cold approach. The room's cold, doors open, in I go. I'm going to enter into a group of people, and I'm going to neg the target. A neg is a statement or action one makes to briefly disqualify oneself from being considered a potential suitor. An example is blowing your nose. You're not insulting the girl by saying, here, pass me that napkin. What are you going to watch? Sicko. Blow your nose. And the reaction to a neg is laughter. If they're not laughing in reaction to your neg, you're doing it wrong. It's not an insult, right? It's just a disqualifier. You're disqualifying yourself. Too bad I'm gay or you'd be so my type. Is a disqualifier. These disqualifiers are really false disqualifiers. Because if I say, too bad I'm gay or you'd be so my type, later on, 10 minutes later, after I've won her over, I can say, actually, my brother's the gay one of the family. I'm the straight one. These are black nails, not pink. And I can give her the antidote to my false disqualifier. Hell, I've even had a buddy of mine, TD, Tyler Durden, he's in the book The Game. He's even played gay all the way to sex. But I thought you were gay. I was. For real. That's too much. I don't go that route. Wow. So, indirect game, of course, is where you initiate the chat. Direct game is where you just show your interest right away. Indirect game is where you initiate the chat without demonstrating interest. Indirect game is much better, in my opinion. There will be people who will fight me on that, but those people suck infield. That's the truth. Because they go in, they make the girl feel uncomfortable, and then try to jockey for position and try to get through it and barrel through it nonetheless. As opposed to initiating the chat, demonstrating higher value while, obliquely, while throwing a couple negs to disqualify yourself from being a threat to those guys who are friends with her. Pre-selection is triggered because obviously I must be accustomed to her beauty, or I wouldn't be saying, okay, don't get any ideas. It's $5 every time you touch. Wow, you must be rich. I think we're going to have to start a tab. You can bump her. As you're speaking, you can accidentally rub your elbow on her and say, none of that now. Jesus, where's her off button? Buy me a drink before you hit on me. And she hasn't even said a word. You talk a lot. You can say you talk a lot to a girl who hasn't said a word. It's funny. And it disarms everybody. Then I can DHV spike. Cold approach incorporates forwards and backwards mergings. What does this mean? If there's a group of people, I'm going to want to say to them, come on, let's go make some friends. Give me your arm. Okay, that's all you get. Give me your arm. That's all you get. Good. There are women in this room that are so jealous of you two right now. Dun, dun. You start walking with two girls. Then let's go make some friends. Or you could backwards merge, where you say, I'm going to introduce you to some good people. Don't embarrass me. Come on. And then you backwards merge into either a previously open set or the group of friends that you came with, which is ultimately a previously open set. Because the next level of implementation, first you've got your cryo game where you go up to a girl by herself. Then you've got your group approach, in cold approach, where you go into a group. Usually it's a 3-set. 2/3 of all scenarios are 3 sets. If there are guys in the set, it's called a mixed set. If it's all guys, then it's an all-guy set. Maybe the girl went to the washroom. You work the 3 guys so that when she comes back, they're already disarmed. Much better than trying to follow her when she leaves the group. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion, right? Try to stop a girl who has to go to the washroom. Try to stop a girl when she's coming back from the washroom and she's particularly hot and she feels uncomfortable and she's trying to get back to her friends, right? She's got that false time constraint in her head. It's false because, she came to a club, she's hanging out, but she just wants the safety of her own peers, right? You got forwards and backwards mergings that take place, and they're easy. We all have to do them. We'll look social, and we'll be able to build a jealousy plot line. In comfort, once you've worked a girl 25 minutes, if you can demonstrate to her that another woman wants you, she will feel a sense of jealousy. She will be surprised by it. Now, what is jealousy? It's the need to protect one's investment. She won't know she's attracted to you until she feels it. It's a part of the game plan. If you can't do it on the first day, you'll do it on the second day. If you're inviting her out and she says, can I bring a friend? You say, sure. Can I bring one too? And you make sure that the friends you bring are all girls. Girl has come out and invested in coming out to see you, and now she has to jockey for position amongst your other female friends. She's going to feel that. She needs to feel that. It's not a bad thing. She just needs to value you. She won't know she values you until her primitive brain triggers, this guy has value. You're about to lose value, to competition otherwise. So you want a forwards and backwards merge. You want to also do that because let's say you enter into a 2-set, 2 girls or a guy and a girl. If I go into a 2-set, I can never split the 2-set. If I split it and isolate my target, it leaves the obstacle alienated by him or herself like a loose cannon coming back and trying to, get back in the conversation. So that's why I would like to have the ability to forward merge a 2-set into a bigger set so I can occupy the obstacle, right? Because I can isolate in a 4-set. So if I take a 2-set and I enter this 2-set into a 3-set, it becomes a 5-set. I can isolate from a 5-set, keeps that obstacle occupied. Or I can take my wing, my buddy. If here's a 2-set, I bring my wing in, it turns into a 3-set, and I can isolate the target. It isn't my wing and I versus a 2-set. The game is always played by yourself. Your wing becomes a pawn in the no. A little piece of a tool for your social dynamics engineering that takes place. Forwards and backwards mergings are a part of the cold approach pickup. It's called cold approach because when you open the doors and you go into that room, it's cold. When you enter into that set, they've never had a DHV spike ever. But as the night progresses, adjacent sets will heat up. DHV spikes will be thrown into other sets obliquely by you being seen with girls. DHV spike, boom. By laughter with a group of guys, DHV spike, boom. Someone takes a picture of you. You shake hands and then walk away as if you could have been famous. They don't know. DHV spike. Laughters and smiles. Forwards and backwards mergings are fun. People want to meet other people. The best way is through what we call the warm approach. And that's the next level. So we have cryo, cold approach, warm approach. The warm approach includes online personals. It includes going to a party. It includes introductions. So you're basically doing warm approach work for others when you introduce them to other people. So imagine going into a 3-set, meeting them and saying, hey, let me introduce you to some good friends of mine. Not as an opener, but 3 to 5 minutes in, you can then move them and move them backwards, merge them into your previous set, which is maybe your wings have already been gaming and they've got girls down, by the table that you're all pulling to. You have one sit-down location. We all go into the club. We each go into a set separately, and we pull our sets all back to the same location, and we have a party with some beautiful girls where we all have social proof. We all can have conversations with all the other girls as well. It's a nice way of showing that you hang out with good people, right? And they have warm approach introductions. I'm going to introduce you. Hey, this is this person, this is this person. Well, lovely. Girls love to meet people when it's done with respect, when it's done warmly, and when you do accomplishment introductions on the behalf of your wings. When you say, I'm going to introduce you to some very cool people, now let me catch you up to speed very quickly with them, because there was a time I didn't know who they were either, right? So I thought I'd catch you up, tell you who's the asshole and who's the good guy. When I first moved here from Toronto, my first group of friends, they weren't necessarily the friends I ever planned on keeping. I just needed to know where the laundromat was. This was like 9 years ago when I came down with $200 free on my visa and came to Los Angeles to strike it big. And then you go up to the Hollywood sign, rub it for good luck, and everything changes. I've got, my friends and I, we've conducted a caper. I'll leave it at that. And hell, we're celebrating like the end of Ocean's 11, so nothing can wreck this day. The friends I have now, since I've carefully weeded out my social garden, they're the friends that have earned the right to be in my life. I have a great deal of loyalty for them and from them. So when I introduce you to them, will you do me a favor? Don't be a jackass. We don't need any more friends. I have a full deck. It's always nice to have a couple extra wild cards. Maybe you're a wild card. Come on. See, you can do an accomplishment intro for your friend so that when she meets them, it'll be an honor. And then your friends can take over the set. You can lean back and then they can whisper, oh, how do you know Mystery? Yeah, he dated a supermodel. Boom, done. We got another DHV spike embedded up into her head thanks to one of my wings. Right? You get 15 DHV spikes, those 5 ones hit again, and she will choose you over any other man. The idea is to make sure that those DHV spikes are believed. They'll be believed if they come from other people, more believed. They'll be believed if you pepper in negs, disqualifiers. You're disqualifying yourself, but then DHVing. Disqualifying, DHVing, disqualifying, DHVing, right? If there are 4 people and you say that you get along with this person, you get along with this person, you get along with this person, and you get along with this person, you could be a kiss ass. But if you say you get along with this person, you get along with this person, you get along with this person not so much, but you 3 are awesome. That tension in that 4 set is necessary. You are going to have to choose a target in every group you enter into. You've got your singles. You can open directly or keep it indirect. You got your 2 set. You can open, but you got to keep them together like a single until you merge it forward or backwards so that you can turn or transform or transmute the set from a 2 set to a 3 set or more. Then you can isolate your target. You've got your 3 set. Most of them are 3 sets. And what's the difference between a 3 set, a 4 set, a 5 set, a 6 set, all the way up to an 800 set or more? Even this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've got 13 people in this room, right? This is a 13 set. You can all hear me. It's quiet, right? There's no difference between a 3 set and a 13 set, except talk louder. Make sure they can all hear you. Now, if they're all sitting at a table and it's loud and this half doesn't hear you, but this half can, instead of going into the table where the target isn't in earshot of you, go into to the side of the table where she is and treat it almost like 2 separate sets, like the loud music is a curtain separating it. So if there's 10 people, 5 here, 5 here, I'll go into the 5 set here with the target in it, befriend all of them, make sure they all hear. It's called group theory for a reason. You need the entire group to be engaged. You can't just talk to one of the obstacles and not be heard by the target or anyone else, because then you're going to have to repeat the same material again, and those DHV spikes that you were embedding into him to disarm him are the same ones you're going to have to use on the whole group again anyway. So why just work one guy? Why not just own the entire group? Only if a member of the other side of the table, of the other group basically, only if they come over will you pause your game, handle the interrupt. Shit, my 5 set's turning into a 6 set. Let's handle that. I'll teach you how to handle the interrupt. And then continue and lead the group. 3 sets, 4 sets, 5 sets, 6 sets, and on are all the same. It's called group theory. That's what we need to master. Okay? So now you know what cryo is, you know what cold approach is, you know what warm approach is, and lastly there's hot approach or celeb game. And that's something I'm dabbling with now. So forgive me if you're going to see some of that in field. It's crazy how the hot approach, to be honest, literally last night, was it last night? Yeah, shit. Last night I was in Los Angeles, went to a club, and some girl, not particularly beautiful either, had recognized me as Mystery. And this is the first time, normally people are like, oh my God, and take pictures and all that stuff, right? And this is all relatively new in the last year and a half. She hated me. She ended up saying, will you fuck off? Fuck off. I'm like, it's a pleasure.
So, let's say that I use an opener like the Girls Fighting Outside opener. I walk up to the set, over my shoulder. Oh, hey, did you guys see the Girls Fighting Outside? They go, no, what, when? These 2 girls were totally catfighting all over each other, scratching and screaming and clawing and pulling their hair. And the bouncer grabbed this one girl and tries to pull her back from the other girl, but no one was grabbing the other girl, so she keeps coming at her. And this girl, her dress gets ripped open and her boob plops out. Now notice I put a pause right there. Her boob plops out, pause. Right? I'm giving people a chance to process this and laugh. They're like, oh my God, because they picture it. Say this boob comes plopping out of her dress. Okay, notice how I made it more visual that time? And then after the pause, then I'll continue. I'll say, now you might think, ooh, hot, right? But no, this is one of those saggy, baggy boobies from National Geographic. Right at that moment, boom, they laugh again really hard. Okay? Then I turn to the girl, one of the girls, and I say, you know what? You totally look like my friend Sarah. You remind me of Sarah. Now, I was hanging out with her last week, and we go walking down the boardwalk. And we see this old couple just sitting together, and they look so sweet. And they're just sitting there together on the bench, And they just have this sweet look, and they look at each other. And I'm thinking to myself, when I get older, okay, now stop right there, cut. What did I open with? Sometimes the girls won't even remember at this point what I opened them with. I did the girls fighting outside opener. Said, you know, you look like my friend Sarah. She doesn't. I don't have a friend Sarah. I invented it. Okay? And that reminds me of last week. I was walking down the boardwalk with my friend Sarah. No, I wasn't. It's made up. And then we see this old couple. So I'm doing some cute little endearing story or whatever. Okay? I'm already gone from this thing to that thing. And I'll even cut it there. I won't even finish the story. I'll say we see this old couple sitting together and, wait a second, are you guys really good friends? Like BFFs? You guys make the exact same facial expressions. Okay? So I'll start with an opener, get them giggling. You remind me of my friend, some story about me and my friend. It could be any story. It has relevance now because she looks like her, whatever. I get halfway into that story. I don't have to reach the conclusion. I go into the best friend test. From the best friend test, I go into, this reminds me, last week I was having lunch at the W. Next story, next story, next story. I'm leading the interaction. I'm leading the conversation. I'm in control. The girls start talking to each other. Blah, 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 blah. They kind of look at each other and start talking to each other. And I circle my finger. And back to me. So anyway, like I was saying, I'm walking down the boardwalk with my friend Sarah. Get it? Okay. Okay, what are some other openers? So far we've talked about the opinion opener, which is invented by Style. I'll give an example of that. And we did the girls fighting outside opener, which I don't remember if that's from Swing Cat or Mystery, or I don't remember who first invented that opener. But that's sort of a situational opener, but not really. It's made up. I'm acting like it just happened, like it's part of the situation. But it really didn't. It's the same story I could use night after night after night. Okay? Here's another opener. This is my favorite new opener. I call it the Dirty Dancing opener. Anyone who knows that movie Dirty Dancing, which is every girl's favorite movie, it seems like it's like Star Wars for girls. So there's a pivotal scene at the end where Baby is sitting with her parents, and the big dance scene is coming up, and Patrick Swayze walks up to the table. And there's a line that he uses where he says, "Nobody puts Baby in a corner." Okay? It's a critical line from that movie. Then she gets up and she dances with him, and they do the final dance scene, and he lifts her up in the air, and she learns how to trust him and let go and enjoy being lifted up or whatever instead of having trust issues. And her father sees her as a woman for the first time. That's a big emotional climax of the movie. So I'll walk into set and I'll be like, "Okay guys, what movie is this from?" "Nobody puts Baby in a corner." And they'll be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, Dirty Dancing, I know that one, right? There's always at least one chick. They go ape shit. They go ape shit for this opener. It's great. I recommend you field test it 10 or 20 times and you'll see what I'm talking about. Hey guys, all right, I really got to get back to my friends, but what movie is this from? Nobody puts Baby in a corner, okay? Now another thing that's really good for getting into set is, remember how I said to always be laughing, always be smiling, always be dancing, always be in a good mood. Like you just, yay, yay, woo, woo, right? That should be the vibe. I should go into set like that. Because if I come off carefree and unaffected and just having a good time and whatever, right, then I don't come off like the guy who's trying to get something. I don't come off like the guy with the agenda. Okay? And this is what's important. So I'll walk into a set dancing and singing. Is anyone familiar with Mickey Avalon? He's got that song, Jane Fonda. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get your booty on the dance floor and work it out. Shake it, little mama. Let me see you do the Jane Fonda. Does anyone know that song? I'll go into set instead of dancing and shaking my ass and singing that song. We go right in between two girls. We're like, 5, 6, 7 now. If you don't know, let me show you how. And work it out. Shake it, little mama. I know you want to do the Jane Fonda. Okay? Girls love Mickey Avalon. They go ape shit. They go nuts. They're like, yeah, Mickey Avalon, woo! Woo! Like that. I'll combine those two things. I'll go in with the Dirty Dancing thing. And then I'll seek into the Mickey Avalon, Jane Fonda thing. Walk into set. Hey guys, what movie is this from? Nobody puts Baby in a corner. They're like, oh my God, Dirty Dancing. It'll be like, yeah, Dirty Dancing, you get the Mickey Avalon prize. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get your booty on the dance floor and work it out, right? And they're like, oh my God. And they'll start shaking their ass and grinding up on me and stuff. I'll be like, wait a second, get off me. You guys are really good friends, right? I won't even finish that. Right when I say that, they look at each other and they say, yeah. We're like, oh my God, you guys are awesome. Come here. Give them a big hug. Boom. Push them off. All right, get off me. That's all you get. Okay? See what's really important here is the vibe. I validate, devalidate. But notice when I validate, it's because I've decided they're cool, not because I'm trying to get something. Right? I'm not saying, give me a hug. If I buy you a drink, do I get a hug? No. I'm not in that headspace. I'm more like, oh, you guys are cool. All right, I'll give you a hug, but that's all you get. Now get off me. Okay? Why do I push them off? I push them off to create feelings of comfort and safety. The same reason that I use the false time constraint. The same reason that I use the body rocking. The same reason that I use negs. Creates feelings of comfort and safety. If I'm trying to get something, well, that's scary. She's going to put up her vibe, put up her guard. Okay? But if I'm like pushing them away already, that's not scary. I'm not trying to get something. Okay? I say, wow, you girls are pretty cool. I like you guys. Come here, give me a hug. All right, now get off me. That's all you get. That creates the comfort and trust so I can come back in and escalate again. Then I push off so I can come back in and escalate again. Then push off, etc. Make sense? All these things can be stacked. Do the Dirty Dancing thing, Mickey Avalon thing, go to the best friend test, right? Do the girls fighting outside. I could do that at that point, after the best friend test. Then I say, oh my God, did you guys see the girls fighting outside? Okay, at this point, the set's already hooked. So like, no, what happened? Do that story. Then I'll do my little lunch of the W story. Okay? I never run out. It doesn't even really matter what I say. Even if I run out of canned routines, because I don't really like to use canned routines anyway, I'll just have fun. I'll be like, you guys are cool. This is cool. Wait, hold on a second. 1 second. I'll be right back. Oh, wait a second. Let me see your hands. All right. Now turn like this. Right? I'm leading. I'm taking control. I'm being fun. But I don't act like I'm trying to get something. I'm not try hard. Not at all. Okay? So as you can see, what's really important isn't the words of the opener, it's the vibe of the opener. If you come in needy, clingy, try hard, hovering, wanting, it's scary, it's creepy, it's weird, the girls want to get away. But if I come in with that yin-yang, that, oh, I'm a lot of fun, but I don't care what happens, nothing's a big deal or whatever, but I'm having a really good time, then they get sucked in like moths to the flame. Make sense? Doesn't really matter what I say. It matters the vibe that I open with. I want to come in, no big deal, whatever, I don't care, relaxed, having fun, laughing, smiling, dancing, it's cool. Weird response from a girl, I didn't even notice, whatever, it's cool. Having a good time no matter what. Okay? This is the vibe of a good opener. You can use opinion openers, and I recommend that you practice them. Pick one and go out and practice it 100 times or 500 times. You can use situational openers. You can use direct openers. I might just walk right up to the set. I say, guys, look, I saw you standing over here, and I wanted to come say hi. Okay? Now, right at that moment, I've conveyed balls because I walked right up and said something and was honest about my feelings, like right away. That's ballsy. So I get some value off of that. They'll be a little attracted. But I've also telegraphed some interest. Okay? So I don't want to look like I really want it so bad. But like, oh, it was interesting to me. I might as well come over and see what's up. If I get a negative response, okay, that's fine. I'll indicate some disinterest of my own, raise value, and then come back in and test again for another response. Remember one time I was at Saddle Ranch in LA, and I went over to a set and I opened direct. I said, hey guys, I saw you standing over here. Seemed pretty cool. I want to say hi, get to know you. Well, actually, I didn't say get to know you. That's a little too much. Say, I just want to say hi. I'm Chris. And I had obviously, even still, demonstrated a little bit too much interest. And because of that, the girl looked at me and she said, actually, we're in the middle of a private conversation right now. Which, if you hear that once, then you'll believe it. You'll be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Go, get back to what you're doing. But once you've heard that 100 times or 1,000 times, you realize it's just a line, and every girl uses it, and it's like these days when I hear that, oh, we're in the middle of a private conversation right now, or we're having a really important conversation. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, all right. I don't even take it seriously anymore. Okay, but it's definitely an indicator that I had telegraphed too much interest. So what happens is, when I'm getting these indicators of disinterest, that I want to give an indicator of disinterest of my own, demonstrate higher value, and then they should hook better at that point. Okay? Now, Saddle Ranch is right across the street from Sky Bar. Sky Bar is a hot venue in LA. It's a difficult place to get in. If you can just go over there at midnight and walk right in, that means that you know people hook up at Sky Bar, you're a cool guy or whatever. Okay? So here's what I said to those girls. She says, we're in the middle of a private conversation right now. And I was like, actually, I was on my way out anyway. Me and my friends are going across the street to Sky Bar. But I want to stop and say hi to you guys first because you seem pretty cool. Okay? Notice what I've done there? First, I indicate disinterest. Oh, yeah, I was actually leaving anyway. Me and my friends are going over to Sky Bar. Boom. Then I demonstrate value. Sky Bar. Oh, he's got an in. He's socially connected. Okay? So I show some disinterest, take away their validation. I convey value. I'm going to Sky Bar. Then I give them another window. And I say, well, I just want to say hi to you guys on my way out. And then one of the girls, the one who was bitchy at first, she continues to be bitchy. And she says, okay, well, nice to meet you, whatever. But the other girl hooks. She goes, I'm Sunny. What's your name? I say, oh, I'm Chris. Nice to meet you. Check this out. You know what? You guys look like you're from Texas or something. You have that Texas look to you. Okay? So notice, direct openers work. They're good. They're worth practicing. But they also give away a little bit of your value. They show your cards. They show, hey, I wanted to talk to you. You didn't just happen to be here, but I actually wanted to talk to you specifically. Okay? Because of that, girls will tend to put up their shields more when they get a direct opener. That's fine. What's really important is how you react to it. If I get all pissy, I'm like, well, fuck you girls then. Fuck you. I don't need this shit. Okay? It shows I was a loser guy. They were right to get rid of me in the first place. Let's talk for a second about proximity. When you have higher value, girls will come stand near you. They're not necessarily even aware of what's happening. They're not aware that they're doing this. Okay? They're programmed to do this. They're programmed to stand closer to high-value guys and farther away from low-value guys. They may be aware of this or not, but they don't have to be aware of it. It happens at an unconscious level. For example, I first walk into a bar. I'm not necessarily a high-value guy. I'm just some guy in a bar. Then I open a set. This actually happened in London, by the way. So I open a set, and I'm talking to a couple girls. They weren't the hottest girls in the bar. They may be a couple fives, a couple sixes, whatever. But at least I'm in set, talking to people, talking to girls, instead of standing there by myself, holding my drink to my chest, looking around the bar. So I'm talking to these girls, and now what happens is a couple eights walk in, and they walk across the room, and it was early in the night, so it's still an empty room. They come walking across the room, and they walk right by where me and my girls are standing, and they stop, wait a second, and then they continue walking. They stopped right there where I was. Okay? So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna actually walk and show what they were doing. Okay? So she goes walking across the room. She gets to where I am. She stops. And then she continues walking across the room. Why did she stop there? Why did she stop at that spot? She may not even remember that she did it. It was programmed in. At an unconscious level, some part of her brain says, ooh, a guy with girls. Pre-selection, right? Higher value guy. Stop nearby, give him proximity, and continue walking. Okay? You ever notice that if there's a couple empty spots at the bar and you go up to buy a drink, you tend to be standing in the empty spot where there's a hot chick nearby? I could have stood over there, but instead I stood here where there's a hot chick. This sort of thing is built in. It happens even if you're not aware that you're doing it. Same thing for girls. Girls will give proximity to high-value guys. If you're standing in the bar, and you notice a couple girls standing nearby, they tend to get to about 4 feet away, 5 feet away, maybe even up to 8 feet away. They'll reach this perimeter and they'll stop. They won't come in any closer than that. They'll just reach that perimeter and they'll stop. And they won't even face you. There might be a girl standing 5 feet away facing the other direction from me. But she's giving me proximity. She may not even be aware that she's doing it. But because she's giving me proximity, that means when I open her, she'll open positively. She'll open up. It doesn't even matter what the opener is. Remember, she's already interested. That's why she's giving me proximity. So all I really have to do is basically just give her an excuse.